What up there, nephew? Hey, buddy boy. It is that Woke with Kids. It's us again. It's me again. It's Mel. It's me and us. Mel, can you say something so I can see how you clock in?
Something.
That is a definite thing. All right. Let's start talking about the news and politics and all that stuff, guys. I hear a siren. You better hide your kids. As Dave Chappelle used to say, I got a cigarette in my mouth. I look like Uncle Charlie. I'm about to talk some shit. Hey, guys. It's Woke with Kids. I'm Virginian, so I reserve the right to light a cigarette every once in a while. It's Woke with Kids, guys. If you guys have never joined us before, we are a podcast. A married couple. Wow. From Los Angeles. He is our son. This dude is wild. He is literally knocking on the door. Our son is knocking on the door, requesting more time on an app. As I don't think this is what was intended by this this whole thing. We just recently put parental controls on the iPhone, and now every time our son wants to play something over time, and he's requesting permission and we're not giving it. So he freaked out and apparently spilled stuff all over something. So Mel has to go in now and intervene. This stuff is This stuff is an addiction. He went into literal withdrawal the moment the drug was withdrawn from him. And now Mel must go minister to his withdrawal symptoms. Wow. If you guys are wondering, you've just tuned in to Woke with Kids. You're probably listening to a podcast right now, and you're wondering, what is this podcast about? Because you've never heard of it before. But it's a podcast from me and my wife. We live in Los Angeles, and we have opinions about politics because we ingest a lot of news. We watch a lot of news, and we read a lot of blogs. And we work. And we do things. We have kids. So we feel like we're as qualified at minimum as much as the president, or as I prefer to refer to him as individual one, to talk about things and give you our opinion about things and how things should be. You know, if Apple and Oranges can have a podcast or whatever the hell they have on Fox News, their little slave quarters on Fox News, then me and my wife can have some things going on. And that's what we're doing. So you're welcome, right? You're welcome. So this is what they call in the industry a little bit of stretching. Yeah. Because we just had a little situation with our eldest, who is a screen junkie. That's right. He's addicted. That's right. We're failures as parents. That's right. Our kid is addicted. And there's nothing we can do. It's the screens. They've got him. They won't let him go. So he's requesting more screen time. It's almost 11 o'clock here. All right. It's almost 11 o'clock on the West Coast. He's requesting more screen. He's 10. He's 10 years old. He's requesting more screen time. I'm trying to give it to him. 15-minute increments. Okay. It's methadone. All right. That's all you're getting. It's methadone. It's not heroin. It's not the big smack. It's not the big woo. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit. It's a drip. And he's getting it. So I'm giving him 15 minutes, but it's per app. Oh my. The agony. Can you imagine? You're a 10-year-old. All you want to do is just while out on this amphetamine. Oh my God. Yeah, you like that? You like that, Wookie? Yeah, I'm 42 now, guys. I'm 42, so I gotta break out the Wookie. You know what I mean? Got to get comfortable. Everything is about comfort now. It's all about comfort as you ride. As I ride this experience, this body, this flesh, this corporeal being into the great unknown. So until then, I'm just going to be, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, brother. Thank you. I know you would understand because you are my Star Wars brother. You know what I mean? Black Nerds Forever. Original Blurs. Before that shit was cool. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. So anyways, if you're just tuning in to the podcast and or the Facebook live stream, because I doubt I will edit any of this, those days are far behind me. I'm in my Jack Kerouac phase now. I'm much more into, sort of just endless stream of consciousness, just letting it be. I am trying to wait a little bit to get into the very meaty news stories that we have to talk about, because there is so much to talk about. Oh my God. I am just positively giddy with political schadenfreude right now. I don't mean to be petty, but it's the way that God made me. It's not a choice, it's an orientation. And there is so much to be giddy about right now politically. If you happen to share the political persuasions that I do. Hello, Mother Mel. How are things on the...
They're fine.
They're fine. Fantastic. Let a black woman fix it, as they say. Let's get into it, y'all. I have stretched enough. You guys have come here to talk about... Hear the news. You guys want to know what's going on.
How do I turn this down? This right here? How do I turn the volume down?
Boom.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're here to hear the news, so let's talk about the news. Let's get into the big story, the shutdown. The shutdown is over, y'all. It's over. Oh, my God. It's over. Mel, how do you feel? How do you feel about this?
About time.
It's about fucking time.
I mean, once they have to ground flights at LaGuardia because air traffic controllers are so tired and making mistakes people haven't made in 10, 12, 15 years, I think they realized they had to do something, and Nancy Pelosi is a boss. So
Nancy is my spirit animal right now.
I think I thought we established it's not politically correct to say spirit animal.
Have we? Okay, I retract that immediately. I immediately see what the area is there. Our Native American brethren deserve more respect and honor for their traditions. That is a very
specific and special thing.
Absolutely. We are done with dream catchers and spirit animals over here. We're keeping it 1,000% respectful. What I meant to say is that Nancy Pelosi is an emblem of leadership. She is my alpha. She is my wolf alpha, as a notorious conservative troll actually tweeted. I can't remember his name. I don't give a fuck. But he did tweet to his followers in the meltdown after Trump capitulating to Nancy Pelosi's completely boss ass fucking no give tactics, vertebrate, completely upright, showing you how it's done. He said Nancy Pelosi is alpha. And I can't agree more. Goddamn right.
I mean, she literally said, you are not giving your State of the Union during the shutdown. If you want, you can send us the written words. And I don't know what they were going to do with that. But she said, you can't deliver that shit to Congress.
Mel,
and I don't think he saw that one coming.
She literally took away his screen time.
She dog walked him. Whatever the fuck that means.
Whatever that means, she did it.
Still am not entirely clear what that means, but I feel like
it happened.
If I think I understand the context correctly,
1,000%.
She dog walked him.
Oh my God, yes.
Have you seen the illustration where someone has Nancy Pelosi walking, leading Trump on a leash?
Oh, yeah. I die.
Yeah.
I must find that later. Okay, that's fantastic. So, you guys know what it is. It's been almost goddamn 40 days and 40 nights. 800,000 of your fellow Americans, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, people, human beings, out there going broke. No paycheck.
This fool talking about, you can get a low interest loan. I don't understand why
Wilbur
people
Ross,
aren't liquid where there's an issue of liquidity.
A billionaire, this motherfucker.
We had someone else saying, they're volunteers. And media said, well, technically, if you're forcing them to come in, because if they don't, they'll get fired. I don't think you can call that volunteering. He was like, you know what I mean. I'm not even going to address that. Oh, really?
Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, we do know what you mean.
Yeah, we're not
exactly
addressing that. So, I mean, I just hope they get their money toot sweet. I mean, give them the fucking money. Show me the money.
Yo.
And it's only for 3 weeks. I do want to make it clear in case someone is under a rock. The temporary budget that has been passed has absolutely not one dime for a border wall.
Woo!
The stipulation is that they will immediately begin negotiations on funding for border security. True. I mean, they have been... I'm getting verklempt already because this fool is a fucking idiot. Trump is a fucking idiot. Everyone says, all the data says that a physical wall from the Pacific to the Gulf of Mexico is not going to impede the flow of drugs and narcotics in the way to make substantial changes to the flow coming into the US of A. What might actually make a difference are drones, which they were willing to give money for. I mean, they have multiple ideas that they have proposed towards border security, but a literal wall that's going to cost billions of dollars and essentially will not achieve the goal that he says it will is only something that his dummy ass. I mean, and even at this point, as you're saying, it's only symbolic. And I just don't even understand the lack of foresight that a government shutdown would affect his own supporters, and that if you let it go on indefinitely, they're gonna not be happy with you. Like, did he somehow think it was only going to affect Democrats?
Yo, I really think that Trump didn't give a fuck. I think that Trump
does.
I think he's only tuned into Hannity and Hannity, and Coulter, Breitbart.
What was that thing you had up where Coulter, was that real? Where Coulter?
Oh no, it's real. I can't wait to watch it.
Up?
She was on Bill Maher tonight, which I can't wait to watch live because obviously, whatever just happened. And she was on there, and all this just happened, so it's live, it's taped live. So she, in real time, had to basically say, "Okay, I'm a stupid girl," because basically Bill Maher said, "When did you start to guess that he might be not a man of his word, or like might be a con artist or some shit like that?" And she was like, "Okay, whatever, yeah, I'm a silly girl."
Gotcha. Yeah. So, I mean, I just hope people get what they need, and again, they don't realize that some of the repercussions are going to be long-standing. Some bills may have been able to be delayed, but we all know how it is. If you've ever not had money or grew up poor, once you get behind on some shit, it's like it's almost impossible to catch up because then new bills come. What about the agencies or organizations who did not take a delay on payments? Some people, what about tuition? Yeah. We got lots of things. Gas, obviously the job situation. What if you started doing another side hustle? Now you got to try and finagle quitting that to go back to your old one. Your child was out of school. Everything has been affected. So, can we just get this motherfucker out of here already?
Yo, what the good part is that Ann Coulter did also tweeted, it's official, George Herbert Walker Bush is no longer the wimpiest president that ever held the office.
And how, spineless do you have to be for one person to tweet something, and that's what gets you to dig in your heels?
That's what put the battery in your back.
And Coulter?
What I take from this...
can we at least get, an advisor or something?
No, because all his advisors are lackeys.
They're all getting indicted.
Yo, so we're going to get to that in a second, but I just want to say basically this shit is just wonderful. I'm finally glad that essentially the myth of Trump is being broken. Every con man has a moment when you realize that everything he's promising can't be true, that he can't deliver on.
I think this is the first real crack
in the armor.
This is the first one, and everybody sees it.
Yes,
everybody fucking sees it. His own people are seeing it because he took money out of their pockets.
Because 39 days ago, or whatever the fuck exactly days ago, he was offered this exact same deal. That's the other thing. He didn't negotiate for shit. He didn't get one motherfucking thing. He's revealed that his only callow interest in it is his popularity, is his Rasmussen poll. This one poll that always says that he's the shit no matter how bad everyone else says he's doing. And that poll was shit for once.
I mean, if I was Nancy Pelosi's husband, and excuse my crude language, I would fuck her good tonight because she did that shit.
He need to eat the booty hole all like
he need to do whatever she says to do. I'll put it like that. Mm-hmm. And I think it just really put the battery in all of the Democratic Party, because it shows that when we stick together and we fucking hold the party line and do what we fucking gonna say and stand our ground, essentially, we can move the needle.
Goddamn.
Even just a little bit.
That's right.
Even just a little bit. And that says a lot, because apparently we're the liberal side are the snowflakes, and the liberal side don't know about whatever, and we have no vision, and we're just trying to give handouts and all the, run down the laundry list of the insults. So
right.
I just think it potentially has far-reaching implications, and then couple that with Mueller still doing his damn thing, dog walking everybody else associated with Trump.
Roger
it's
Stone.
Like a really great tag team.
Roger Stone.
Open the door.
Because for a minute
the door.
We got a little bit sad. We was a little bit sad when the BuzzFeed article came out that was like, oh shit, we got Trump. He definitely told Cohen to lie, and it's 1,000% guilty, and he's 100% out of there. And then Mueller came out and was like, no.
Well, he gotta be on his P's and Q's, dot his I's and cross his T's, and he's playing the long game. So BuzzFeed's gonna do what BuzzFeed gonna do, and Mueller sure the hell is doing what he gotta do.
Yes, but so this is especially gratifying for him to come right back around and be like, oh bitch, but you thought I forgot. And it was like, boom, Roger Stone, billionaire Roger Stone.
Close, long time advisor to Trump.
How delicious
his BFF, his
How
ace.
delicious is this? How much fun is this to see?
We're thoroughly enjoying it.
Forget Trump. It's not even about that. It's just a coincidence. Don't you see the irony, guys? Is that he came in as a populist, but what we get to see is finally the actual billionaires are being arrested and indicted and being dragged out of their houses by the FBI.
Literally, lying to the FBI, lying to the FBI, lying to the FBI, lying to the FBI.
What a time!
Literally, and what did Nancy say? She just said, "Well, I just find it interesting the type of people that President Trump surrounds himself with."
Is Nancy not a boss? Does she know not how to do it? She keeps it so.
She ain't new to the game.
She keeps it so.
She ain't new to the game, and she's kept her nose relatively clean. Hillary said all this shit, but she was dirty. She was dirty, and we all knew it.
Also,
and then by association. So
no, but there's something also about Nancy Pelosi, and this is the unspoken thing that we can't say or whatever, because some people got it and some people don't. Bill Clinton had it, his wife did not. Nancy Pelosi has charisma. Nancy Pelosi knows how to stand in front of a camera and look like a goddamn 1950s movie, and somehow
I love when he very pettily canceled her trip to Afghanistan.
She didn't trip.
No, she did. She just said, everybody knows you don't announce the plans because then you put everybody in danger. And she, rightly so, put the focus on his continued incompetence and putting American lives at risk. Okay?
Right.
Okay, I mean, we don't have to talk about who likes who's a dummy. I mean, obviously, we want to talk about it, but can we talk about what's really going on?
It's not.
You putting motherfuckers at risk. You putting their livelihoods at risk, their households at risk, plus the soldiers. If you say she coming, then they gonna go to the airport like everybody who.
Dig it. They want to be like.
Everybody knows but him.
They want to. At first, they was like, "Oh, chess is." Trump is playing 3-dimensional chess, right? Then when they had to downgrade it to be like, "All right, Trump maybe he's just playing regular chess. This is just regular chess, y'all." Now then he's just playing checkers. It's just checkers. And now this motherfucker's just playing tic tac toe.
He can't even play. He can't even get to Connect Four.
He can't even get to Connect Four.
He don't even see the two-way. He don't even see the basic two-way. My 3-year-old can basically catch a two-way on Connect
no
4.
Strategy.
But Trump can't even see it coming.
No strategy.
Dog walked, y'all.
Dog. Okay. So Roger Stone also got indicted. It's delicious.
The list is really long.
So now this
is a lot of witches.
This is the connection between Trump and WikiLeaks and all those leaks and the leaks and all of that shit that he's all whatever. Anyway. Well, just stay tuned.
This is also the connection. I mean, all of the people who have been indicted, all of the Russians, they're going to continue to show the relationships between all these people who are committing crimes and Trump.
Yes, exactly right.
And Trump himself. So I'm just waiting for the indictment of Trump Jr. or Jared. I need somebody Jared in the Kushner, family to come out.
Jared Kushner has been... Kushner, I'm sorry.
Too much kush.
Perhaps. Never enough kush. So Jared Kush is he's been scurrying around. The funny thing is that the bill that they tried to bring to the floor to vote on, McConnell, Kush, Ivanka, and then they are the ones that all came up with the bill. So he was negotiating essentially with his family, and then he came out and said, "This is the proposal." It's like this is what you think is a negotiation. It's just
he's
funny,
so
y'all.
Bad.
And
this is the thing too. I almost feel sorry for him because 2 years in, I would hope that he would have read a few things, the handbook, something.
No. I feel like at this point, his aides have got to be just like, we have got to keep everything away from him. There's nothing that we can trust him with.
What was the chief of staff? And he said, I give up.
I literally gave up. And his new chief of staff is basically like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, you want to talk to Trump? Talk to Trump. I don't care.
How are they all getting paid is my question. I would have been like, how is Mike? If I was Mike Pence, I'd be like, look, I'm part of the government in case you didn't know, and I am not a professed billionaire to give up my check.
My gosh.
So can we get this party started?
Basically Trump is a cuck. That's basically what we're saying now. Trump is now a cuck. Okay, moving on. What else? I don't even know if I have anything else to say. Trump be trumping. But not anymore. Trump. Actually, Trump may have just got trumped. That's what I'm saying.
Trump did get Trump today. Trump got
Trump today.
And
what else has been going on?
I'm almost curious. What are his recent tweets? I'm sure it's about.
Oh my God, are you serious? You really want?
I'm personally going to look because I'm kind of curious how he's trying to spin it now.
Well, while you looking at that, what did you did we talk about Covington? What do you think about Covington?
No. Okay. So that was very upsetting.
Yes. I agree. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, if you've been under a rock or you don't give a fuck, you're one of those kind of people, that's fine. We love you. So in Washington, D.C., there was a group of kids who came from, I don't know what...
Sorry, I just read it. Sorry.
I don't know where the kids came from, but they came to Washington on a trip, and there were a bunch of white boys. They had MAGA hats on, and they came to Washington, D.C., and what they didn't know about Washington, D.C. is that it's a black city, and what they didn't know about black cities is that a feature of black cities is the black Hebrew Israelites who were present at this particular protest or wherever the fuck they were. And the white kids and the black Hebrew Israelites, if you don't know, the Israelites, basically, they're like the Westboro Baptist Church of like black religions. Like their whole shit is confrontation. They like just stand on street corners looking flossy with head wraps, looking like Andre 3000 and shit, basically just yelling at you. how you fucked up. But the funny thing is that mostly they kind of sound, they're not anti-black, but they kind of come off as, they are anti-black actually, because they don't believe in race. But they like yell at black people and tell them how fucked up they are, and like if you got to weave and shit like that, they be like, you know, you're brainwashed and all this kind of stuff. But they also hate white people because their whole fucked up theology is that there are no races, there are only the 12 tribes of Israel, and basically everyone with melanin is in the 12 tribes, but white people are the only one who don't have a tribe, and that in the apocalypse or in the after the Messiah comes, they're foretold to be, they're going to be servants, slaves, essentially. So that's their theology. So you can understand why white people would be like, oh shit.
So the kids apparently started chanting things like, we're going to build the wall, etc. And to intervene in the conflict, a Native American elder, activist, U.S. veteran stepped in with his drum.
Yes.
Nathan Phillips.
A drum.
And began singing a song and was playing his drum. And apparently this young man says, he claims now, I mean, I just think it's such an example of what money can do. If you're white.
Speak on it.
Because he claimed, I mean, the second he went viral with his smirking, smug motherfucking face up in this man's face while all his friends are laughing and cheering, he now claims he was trying to diffuse the situation because he was worried about the confrontation and his classmates, and he got approval from his from the staff at Covington Catholic. They got approval to do their chants, apparently, which wasn't we're going to build the wall. It was their songs and chants from school.
And also, let's not forget that once the native elder had stepped in betwixt them, they started doing war whoops
and apparently
and shit like this.
He claims that
kind of
Nathan Phillips was the aggressor, and that he was worried that it was going to escalate, and I guess he was going to attack the other students.
So
anyway, so there was a whole formal statement. I mean, it's talk about money.
Speaking of that statement, it's important to remember that his rich ass parents, because everyone knows that Covington
immediately got a lawyer.
And they got in touch with a Republican PR firm.
Clearly.
Yes. Who got him on all the talk shows.
Now he's all cleaned up.
Yeah. Yes.
He looks all of a sudden, he looks his young age. No more smirking. He was trying to diffuse things. And then they pulled out some 40-year-old arrests of Nathan Phillips of things he had done when he was much, much younger. Nothing about his service to this country. And in attempts, again, to discredit him, as they do whenever there is a conflict between a white person and a person of color. And again, it just shows how people want to say, I can't believe how many people are trying to attack this young man and tarnish his record. I mean, where was this care, Miss Sarah Sanders? Where was this care and concern for how we treat young people when Trayvon Martin was murdered or when Tamir Rice was murdered? Literal children.
Yes. For
not doing anything to cause a confrontation. Were then deemed to be the aggressors. But in this case, of course, this young white man was not doing anything wrong, but just calmly and meek and mildly attempting to go on his school field trip. So, I mean...
Bless his heart. Bless his meek little heart.
He had the color... What is it? The complexion for the protection.
For the protection. Lord have mercy. Okay. Oh, sorry. Goodness Lord, that's sticky icky. So a lot of trippy shit happened, but I think I'm happy today overall because the government is reopening.
I hope people get their money.
They're supposed to get their money within days. They've been told. So I
hope they get their money.
In the Black podcast, they're both connected to the federal government, so I know it matters.
Are they
to them.
really?
Yeah, Sean works for the federal government, so he's been furloughed this whole time.
Our neighbor,
and he's a veteran. He's a veteran.
Our neighbor wasn't getting her money. So
it's real people,
it's
man.
all over.
It's
yes,
real people,
very
man.
much so.
And I don't know if they Republicans or Democrats and no shit like that.
It doesn't
man.
even
They just
matter.
motherfucking people, man. They just people.
And that's what Trump's dummy ass didn't even really consider.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, so let's talk about like who's running for president. Yep. What do you think about that, Mel? What do you think about
I haven't looked too much into it, but I'm here for Kamala Harris. I kind of like her style. She's very smart. She's experienced in government and public service.
Okay.
And, although some may want to go back in her prosecutorial record.
That sounds about right. That sounds right.
About who she sent to jail and what color were they and how harsh was it, which is important. Yeah. I think that in terms of winning a national election, that could prove to be a bridge for those who don't want someone who is too, quote unquote, soft on crime. Yeah. I think very much so. She can very much make a case for looking closely at criminal justice reform, and very much so considering the fact that Black and brown people are disproportionately sent to jails and prisons for crimes that are not capital for less than capital crimes, and looking at really moving the needle towards more fair justice for people of all colors. I haven't really gone to her website or listened to any of her platform, but I maybe just because she's a person of color, I am definitely leaning more towards her than, let's say, Elizabeth Warren. But at this point, I'm fucking desperate. So I'm kind of like open and available to everyone who is not Trump. I mean, everybody.
I'll be honest with you.
Everybody. This guy right here who made a YouTube video saying you suck at producing. Yes. I mean, if he said he was running for president, I would listen.
I would vote
over
for
what Donald J. Trump has to say.
I put it on Facebook and I stand by it. I would vote for a senile cockroach over Donald Trump. I would vote for any motherfucking body. But I want to like Kamala Harris more than I do.
Where's your reservations?
I have a visceral mistrust of the prosecutorial thing.
Sure.
Prosecutor means cop to me, where I come from. And she did defend the death penalty, even though she said she's personally against it. And she did, so-called, quote unquote, allow her office to defend keeping people in jail who have been proven innocent through genetic testing, genetic evidence, and real shit has happened under her watch in California
as Attorney General.
Okay. And that makes me not. And here's the thing: to be real with you, I know she would do the right thing if she became president. Like the pressure of like the political winds being what they were, being what they are, and what she's become as a senatorial creature. Especially with her Here's where it's fucked up. I like it when she's prosecuting Trump and all the motherfuckers.
I like it during the Senate hearings.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And she gets that look on her face.
Yes.
Like, explain this to me one more time, motherfucker. What are you saying?
I do like that.
What are you saying? And I hear what you're saying, where the role and the job of president is very different. So I don't know. I mean, I have yet to hear anything about like
what's the story?
What is her international experience? Like her world experience?
Yes.
How is she? What is her global economy views and experience?
Is she pro NATO? Is she not pro NATO?
What is she gonna do? I mean, is she gonna move the American embassy, or what is she into war? What's up with that? Who are her advisors? Who's in her circle?
And I would be honest with you, part of this shit, and let's be really real, because this is Woke with Kids, and we keep it real with y'all. This is not some like highfalutin bullshit. Part of this shit is that this is like low key the first time I'm paying attention this early.
We've never had to before. We have never had to before. Okay.
I have usually by the time I notice a candidate, their whole platform is fleshed out.
So after Harris and Elizabeth Warren, who else on the Democratic side has put together a
Biden's definitely going to run.
Oh, is he?
I think so. I think it's really happening. I heard Bernie
is running again.
I just heard Bernie was
I'm so
run.
not here for any of that.
I'm tired of Bernie, man.
Because Bernie, I mean,
Jesus.
You just pop up. Bernie pops the fuck up.
I feel like Bernie just doesn't give a fuck. I feel like he's a troll. I feel like he's a troll.
Pops up when it benefits him, and that concerns me.
When I Bossy Facebook that said he's running and was like, no, he better don't. And all I could think was,
I don't see how anyone could really get behind him at this point, and I don't think, based on everything that we know, at this point it's okay. Let me finish. I don't think that, based on what we know, he is a distinctly better candidate than any of the other Democrats or progressives at this point.
Yes.
So no, I don't throw any blind support behind him.
And he's old.
He's got a lot of great ideas, but yeah, for the same reason I possibly would not vote for Joe Biden. He old.
Same.
And I think for me personally, I definitely want to move in a new direction.
Joe Biden is still talking that I like Republicans. I can get along. I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit no more.
I love Joe, but I love Joe as Obama's BFF.
Yes.
That's how I love Joe.
Yes.
I love young Joe. He was cute as hell in his younger days. I love Joe as a human being.
Yes.
When you listen, if you're just bored on a Sunday or whatever, go back to Oprah's Super Soul Sunday and listen to that conversation. And he talks about
Bo and shit.
Bo, oh my God. You know that Bo's widow married the other brother?
Oh no, I did not know that.
That's totally off. But they all behind it. I mean, I don't know.
What the fuck is that shit?
I was shocked, but to hear him talk about service and growing up in Scranton or whatever fucking poor town and what they had to do and all that, he is very American. So I understand that can appeal to a lot of people, but I think that we need to veer away from white men being the representative of America, because the whole, I think, tension really hinges on the fact that America is changing, has changed, and it has to reflect that in its primary office. And so
I agree with that.
I lean heavily towards it being a woman.
I agree with that.
I lean heavily towards it being a person of color.
I agree with that.
So right now, Kamala is number one in my book because she is a woman and she is a person of color.
I just need to hear the story.
I need the story. I think they're fleshing it out. I mean, get your exploratory committee. I'm not mad at anyone who's dipping their toe in Beto, whoever the fuck can dip their goddamn toe in.
He's on a road trip right now. I like Warren.
The story
I actually like Warren right now.
She has a lot of experience, more experience than Kamala Harris, and I feel like she's very thoughtful in what she stands behind. And so
I trust it.
I mean, shit, I want to see it get down to those two women. Shit, they can run, or fucking they can run together.
Can I get Warren? Can I get a Warren with a VP Kamala?
That would work.
And then Kamala be president in another couple of 8 years?
I think Kamala could use one more round.
I just need her to get some national experience.
In the groove.
Yeah, I just need her to get some international.
Right now, the committees that she's on are not the international or like finance.
That's all I'm saying. Like I believe she can do a good job. I believe she's
competent.
Well.
Okay, she's very competent.
Yeah, I believe she has the right spirit and all that shit. But I just want to see a record, not just focused on criminal
I don't know how early in the game they kind of get their platform out, but please, toot sweet, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it going because we're desperate. It's desperate time, guys.
That's why Warren got me. Why I'm still, like right now, I'm currently pro Warren, is because she came out the gate like, here's my books, here's my economic theory, here's the shit I've been talking about for the last, Humpty Hump years. And here's my story as, my parents were middle class and they almost lost their house. And here's how they, like all of that shit is what I want, and it's the same thing that Barack got me with. Barack didn't get me with, I don't know what the fuck Barack, I mean, he was a black man, sure. But what he really got me with is that his story and his rap was so strong. You know what I'm saying?
Obama had an amazing motherfucking story.
That's what we need as a president. And it's
I don't think, I mean, of course people can dispute this, but I think the majority of people, and including as many white people as voted for him in 2008, we believed him. We believed that he believed everything he was saying.
Yes.
So, and he wasn't saying it just because he wanted to win. He said it because he believed it, and that was how he lived his life.
Yes. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody through and through who inspires me, because I think what America needs more than anything at the position of president, I think in the future, the title and the office should really be Inspirer in Chief, because that's what we really need. Because the more we're seeing of the economy and all the shit, and you guys won't see me now, but you'll hear me later on, is that the economy is all about our belief in the economy. If you start investing and you start actually getting into stocks, all of the advice that they give you about stocks and about buying stocks is about doing your research on what people think is going to happen. It's all a matter of expectation and belief. And those beliefs are self-fulfilling prophecies, and that's why the economy is what it is. If the media starts to write that the shutdown is going to have a negative effect on the economy, then stockholders are going to sell off stock, and they're going to put their money into places that they think is going to be more safe. And that is going to thus bring down the price of certain stock, because they're going to be selling at a lower price. And that's a self-fulfilling prophecy of how our expectations. That's too deep for you. I'm sorry. Anyways, what I'm saying.
I personally am really looking for a uniter in chief.
Yes.
Because right now we are at a crossroads in this country. So I'm not really here to reach across the aisle to any racist or white supremacist or anyone who wants to uphold, patriarchy and white privilege and systemic anything. But I do think we've got to have the conversation. Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I just came from the National Day of Racial Healing.
Hey.
Sponsored and partnered. Huh?
Can I borrow some of your wine?
Yeah.
I'm going to pavilions later, so I'll get some.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know what you said. So that was sponsored by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation and Array, which is Ava DuVernay's company. And she brought together artists and activists and performers, and there was so much conversation about the issues where we are speaking honestly and people can tell their stories and we're listening and being self-reflective. So I really am looking for someone who is able to move the needle in terms of the conversations that need to be had between all the people, U.S. citizens, and everyone else who is here in this country right now, because citizenship or not, everybody's basically going to work. Yeah. Trying to pay motherfucking taxes and do the damn thing. Yes. So we need to include everyone in the conversation. And I think that that's really, if we can't find, a North Star for everyone to kind of turn to, then it's considering how far Trump has driven the wedge between people here in America in just 2 years. Yeah. Really 3, the whole campaign, but you know what I'm saying, then we won't really get on the good foot, so to speak. We won't really quite be getting on the path that we need towards the healing, which I think would then produce the economic gains that we want, that would produce the gains in individual and households and their own, well-being and affect positively towards the troops and our standing in the world and all of it. Yeah, all of it. We've got to finally deal with the shit here at home. And if we cannot somehow get more people willing to feel like they are being seen and heard and willing to talk, then I don't know how far we're going to get. And that right there is why I'm really not for Bernie right there, because he's only talking to the people who are saying what he's saying.
The way I see it is that what America always needs and what it's always been is that what we're looking for is that the way we even frame it is telling. What we're looking for is a family. We're looking for up until now, we've been looking for a father-in-chief. But now I think what we need is a mother-in-chief.
I'll take a motherfucking cousin who knows what the fuck they're talking about at this point.
All that is included in the metaphor, because the cabinet are the cousins and the aunties and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is that what you're talking about in terms of inspiring and moving the conversation and moving the needle, the reason Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were effective is because they were effective. They were a perfect family, and they were emblematic for people to look towards and go, that's something to strive towards. When you look at Trump, you go, it automatically activates your most cynical impulses, and you start making excuses for them and yourself.
I mean, yeah, you look at him, you're like, I don't want to look like that. I do not want to spray my face with orange shit. I don't want to be that. I don't want to comb over. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to eat McDonald's every day. I don't want to have an obsession with Twitter. I don't want to lie. I don't want a relationship with my wife where she doesn't want me to touch her in public.
Jesus.
I don't want to be portrayed as a selfish person who never holds an umbrella for anyone and just throws it off. Wow. You know, so I just think, I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe we definitely need a nurturing energy.
Yes.
I think we need someone who can say, I care.
Yes.
And show that with their actions, with their words, with the legislation.
Yes.
Legislation.
Yes. Yes.
Legislation that they introduce, the type of people that they surround themselves with. We will look in every direction and say, oh, that's different. Okay. That's not that different from what I try to do on my micro level with my family.
Yes. Well, look, I mean, I'll say it because I could be blunt about it, but if you're looking for somebody that'll put themselves second, and you want somebody with experience, you probably want.
Don't vote for Trump again.
don't pick a man. Don't pick a man. That's all I'm saying.
Trump.
Don't vote Trump primarily. But look, I'm just.
I mean, I haven't really heard anyone's story, so it's wide open. It truly is. Kamala has a lot of momentum.
Yes.
As does Nancy Pelosi, but clearly Nancy is like killing the game right now in her position.
Yo, why is Nancy kind of president right now? Why is Nancy kind of the first female president right now?
She dog walked him.
She mollywopped him, y'all. She totally dog walked mollywopped.
I didn't really doubt her, but like I didn't know.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't doubt her. She seemed like
when she got reelected, when she got put speaker, I was like, damn, she got it again. How does she keep getting this when everybody keeps saying that she's passed?
But you know what? I didn't understand why everyone was hating on her in the first place, though. She really had never done anything.
It was that sexism shit. It was that Hillary
exactly.
shit. It was just that Hillary shit.
That's why I saw right through that, and I was like, no, they're not really. There's no there.
Truth.
So I'm happy that she came out swinging.
But also, she's also again. There's something about charisma that cannot be taught, and Hillary never had it, and I acknowledge that. She didn't have that Bill Clinton slickness.
Honestly,
and Nancy Pelosi has it.
I don't know if it's because she doesn't have as many skeletons in her closet.
No, Nancy got plenty of skeletons. She voted for plenty of bad shit. No, that's not the case. Nancy
I mean, I don't want to.
She's just slick.
I'm not a big Hillary fan, but I don't like to.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is that if Hillary was slicker,
she got hers already.
People
so
still
I have nothing ill to say about Hillary.
Bill still ain't had no Me Too movement. That's how much charisma he had. He still ain't out. They still ain't got him the fuck out.
I mean,
anyway,
look. I'll just say this: he'd never been no black president.
Fuck no.
I never was into that.
Fuck no. We didn't change that.
There's a lot of white people that can play good jazz. So let's move on from that.
Let's
okay. What's that? What else?
Momentum. I got some good news. Let's start. I know you got some good news too. Let's start with Nigeria. Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa. I love it. You love it. We love it. They give us so many great things. Especially. Most of the African Americans, you know. Nigeria finds more than 20,000 kidnapped girls in Mali. They're still
kidnapped by Boko Haram?
Yes. Not just Boko Haram, but yes, Boko Haram.
Why in Mali? What was going on there?
They were selling the girls as sex slaves in Mali.
Oh my God.
Sex trafficking, 100%. I mean, I'm sorry. There's no cool way to get into that. There's no good way to say that. But the good news is that 20,000 of them were found and are going to be taken home. And I think
I want a president who puts forth $1 billion minimum towards addressing the needs of the women and girls who are rescued from sex trafficking.
Word.
Towards their rehabilitation and their just all the resources that they need to move towards healing and wholeness and regaining a sense of self in the world.
I dig that.
I want that.
I dig that.
Can I get a platform point on that?
I dig that. Well, some more good news. You had some Taraji P. Henson is
She fun. You know what? I'm not the biggest fan of hers. Like, I don't just go see movies.
Got some problematic things recently too. She mentioned she had
I don't just go see any movies she got out, but I really want to go see her new movie about drinking the tea and all of a sudden being able to read.
Oh, I do want to see that.
Thoughts.
I hate to admit, but I do want to see it.
For the first time, I really just want to go support it because it's a black woman in the lead role, a big studio movie. They giving her a chance, and I really want to support that.
All right, we'll go see it.
Also, Regina Hall became the first black woman to receive a nomination, if not a win, for Best Actress at I think it was the Critics' Choice Awards for.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know what it's for.
I forget what it's called. It's the one where she's like the manager of like the Hooters type restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know what it's called either. We're not gonna,
these black women have been grinding in Hollywood.
Yes.
And they're getting a chance. Yeah. And so I'm here for it. I'm here to support it.
I'm for that.
And I'm happy that Taraji will be getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame come Monday, January 28th. And I fully support everyone going to see her film that's coming out. I don't know when or what it's called, but it's got Erykah Badu in it as the mystic who gives her the tea.
What men want.
Is it?
Yeah, something like that. What women I don't know. That'll be. I'll see it. I'll see it with you.
Either way, I support that, and everyone's going to be problematic. I don't know what's the tea on that.
Jesus, what is it for? I think it might be on some R. Kelly shit.
Well, I know Erykah Badu came out and was like, don't cancel him.
No, that's not what she said.
What'd she say?
She said, okay, so first she was at a concert, and the way she said in the concert was a little bit weirder, because it was like at a concert, and she was just like, hurt people, basically. I don't know. That's basically what she said.
I don't know. Maybe don't go to Chicago and like blow up the spot.
Yeah. But then when she tweeted about it later, it was a lot more cogent. And what she's basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing the motherfucker, but I'm gonna just skip to the end. She's basically saying agape, not amnesty. She basically saying she needs to pay for all the bad shit he did, because he definitely fucking crazy in the head and he's fucked up. But she's saying that we need to love him in order for him to get better. You know what?
I'm not really here for that right now, because I think the focus.
I understand.
I think the focus should be on we need to be here for the girls and the women who suffered at the hands of his depravity. So, sure, I'll let somebody else handle. How about the black men come together and support their brother?
This is why.
But as a woman, as a black woman, I feel like she could use that platform and interrupt the show to say, my support is here for the women and the survivors. That's just what I'm saying.
No, you're right. I 100%, like, I am not.
And she already problematic because she's talking about, okay, you girls, you need to watch what you're wearing and all that. And
that's that old fashioned
shit. It's a very complicated conversation, because that is part of a bigger conversation that needs to be had about women and their girls and their bodies and what the world is right now. But it cannot ever, or I believe should not ever be, without saying we need to have a talk with the boys.
Yeah.
So we got to stop putting all the responsibility on the women for what they wear and all that. But that's also part of a conversation of, let's stop glorifying the women who use sex and sexuality as their primary means of gaining respect, money, fame, etc., acceptance, validation, etc., etc., And so it's a much broader conversation that needs to be had in terms of how we raise our children and how we instill self-worth within them. So it's not just don't wear that, because of course there's girls who, as they're blossoming into their womanhood and their sexuality, are going to see that they're getting certain kind of attention. But the conversation really is don't do that. It is how to manage that.
Yeah.
How to be aware of that, how to navigate basically a minefield as a young woman blossoming into your sexuality. Don't go by what society and media tells you is how you gain acceptance and validation in this world. And so I think it was a little short-sighted, or, I mean, if you're going to speak on it, then really speak on it. You know,
I feel you.
Give us more information on how you raise your daughter.
Yeah. I got some thoughts. I definitely got some thoughts on. I think I agree with a lot. 99, almost a perfect circular Venn diagram. What you're saying, the nuance for me is, I think with, like, you're right. I think the main thing is that we got to remember that it's both and, not either or. So like you were saying, like, I don't think it's women's job right now to sympathize with R. Kelly. That's fucking stupid. Like, what the fuck? Like, what?
It ain't happening.
Like, yeah, like
it ain't happening over here.
Yeah, like maybe in 10, 20, 30 years, maybe we
or
can
never.
Or never. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, that's I understand that. But I do believe there's also space for black men to be like, yo, R, you can't have a career anymore. You can't have that anymore. Sorry. Like, you gave up that privilege, but we are here for you in terms of you becoming a better human for you.
It is here for everyone to say, I am here and stand up for what is right, for treating every human being with dignity and respect.
Right.
And then
universal dignity.
You can say, okay, and so how I'm going to go about achieving that is working with this person and helping provide these services and helping in my actions and behavior. What I promote is something that always encourages.
Yes. Promote is a good point to make too.
That kind of self-awareness and healing and discussion within, I think it starts in the home and in the families and in the schools and in the media. So
it does, but yeah, and also to piggyback on what you're saying is, like, also, you're right. It's like there's also responsibility, like, how people want to pretend like it doesn't matter how it comes off optically, but, like, I work in marketing and people spend millions of dollars on how shit looks optically.
I mean, Kevin Hart's a perfect example. You know, he want to double down on the fact that he don't agree with, you know, the lifestyle of people who are gay or trans or whatever. But
that is what he has done, really.
And that is what he did. And it's like, okay, but you have this platform. So are you advocating for inclusion, or are you saying if you don't believe it, then you can basically do whatever the fuck you want? And that's kind of where he came down on. And that's not really how we're trying to move the needle in the conversation.
I'm glad you brought up the Kevin Hart thing, because I thought about that a lot. Because
I mean, at this point, they're going to announce the Oscars and no Oscar host.
There's not going to be a host, but essentially
should just go run down the list and announce who won. That's all we want to just look at the red carpet.
Make it short.
Just show the red carpet, show the in memoriam.
Nobody, and
then jump to the awards.
Yeah, nobody. Like,
they could just have the announcer the whole time.
Simple. And but the Kevin Hart thing also is like, he really illustrates the fact that he didn't want to. Basically, his story is that he didn't want to be an ally, right? So that's his out. I'm not against gay people, but I don't want to be an ally, right? But it's like, if you think about it from a moral perspective, if you just where else does that work? You can't look at something and be like, oh, that's morally correct, and then be like, I don't fuck with. If you're
saying you're not an ally, you're essentially saying you don't support their right to live as they choose.
Right, exactly. So, like, the absence of allyship
it's not just that you don't agree with it. You are actively going to take a stance and say, I just refuse.
Right. Okay. So that's you know what? So that's interesting. I'm always interested in how that comes in, because that is an instance where it is either or. Right? So that is either or. There are instances where it is perfectly acceptable to be either or. You cannot be if you're not for a person, you are against them.
Also, I
That's
think
just the way people
anyone
work.
who is getting into entertainment really has to consider this aspect, because there is a higher percentage. I mean, I'm totally guessing right here and being modern jackass, but there are a lot of gay and trans and lesbian people working in entertainment, as just around the country. I'm sure they go to his shows, et cetera, et cetera. So if you become a public figure, you cannot also say, yeah, I know that I'm supported and patronized by all kinds of people, but I'm not here for all kinds of people.
Right.
I mean, and at the very least, I don't think he is complaining about the backlash. He seems to be willing to say, I'll take whatever I can get.
I think he's winning.
Because I have stood my ground. And, that is his prerogative. And then the studios or, the people, his fans, will decide how they feel. And that's the thing with the whole R. Kelly. By going basically going ham on what they believe, you are forcing your fans to make a choice.
Yes.
If you are an entertainer and what you do in that entertainment space is inclusive for everyone, and then what you do personally or more privately in terms of your opinions, not your behavior that could be criminal and or immoral, I want to make that distinction.
Word.
Then there is less of the ground for us to essentially demonize you, cancel you, criticize you, because you have gone out of your way to separate the two. This is my personal life. This is my public life. I mean, even like a person like Monique, she basically says what she says and she takes roles or doesn't take roles. I'm sure there's hundreds, thousands of people in entertainment across all platforms who have certain beliefs. But when they go into the public entertainment space, if what they want to do is be in entertainment, that usually comes with the idea that you want to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So if that is what you're saying, then that inherently is inclusive. But then if by your actions and words in that same entertainment space are saying, but these people aren't included and these people aren't included, then you have conflict within yourself in terms of what you are here to give to the world.
Yes.
And so he has to kind of sort that out. And this is kind of his reckoning for that.
Yeah, amen.
And again, with R. Kelly, I mean, if you want to pee on people or whatever, I mean, just get people of age. You know what I mean? Like, it would still be immoral and wrong. Or like Bill Cosby, like, don't drug them. Don't get them underage. Don't, conspire against them.
Right.
And use manipulative tactics. Yeah, basically, like, that's why it doesn't make sense for people to demonize sex workers, because it is a business transaction.
But hold up. I just want to interject. That's also the tragedy of a Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby did not come up in the age of a Tinder. Like nowadays, right now, if I'm a single 20-something-year-old dude, I can get on an app somewhere and I can find any type of sexual fetish, proclivity, weird shit that I'm into, kink, and I can find matches, people who are into that. And, I think that's just a beautiful thing about now.
But see, there's also, I think that goes into a weird area, because then you have like that Democratic donor, Ed Buck, who's specifically using sites like Tinder to satisfy his weird sexual proclivities. But that involves shooting you with speedballs or whatever the fuck it is, meth, and motherfucking killing people. So it's not like you can just go ham. You can't. I mean, you really can't just use society and the world and all the technology to just go all the way.
That is why I fuck with you, babe. That is
to go all the way.
You're right.
It's not just like, okay, in my private life, I'm gonna do my dirt. No, you're fucking killing people. So, I mean, when are we going
How many niggas did he kill?
Two. But how many others did he just fuck up? I mean, how many times have you been in a situation where you drank too much, you got too high, whatever?
Do y'all know this is?
And you think back, you're like, woo, by the grace of, we talked about it. And when you're like, by the grace of God, I made it home. Okay, maybe that's just me, but
mercy.
I mean, if everyone was just looking like, okay, let me find a willing partner and then go all the way when some of the consequences of that could be death, who's here looking out? We've got to have some self-accountability. Absolutely. And again, where is the moral compass that you can go too far?
Yes, absolutely. No, there has to be limits. There have to be explicated limits, and the limits are consent. The limits are explicated consent, absolutely.
But not just that, because even with these young men, they were there and they agreed to get shot up. You know, so no, again, right. No, there's a power dynamic that is always at work. He's got a lot of money.
That's systemic.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We've got a fucking. We're starting to crack at all of it, yes. And that's why I think we have to have. It all has to have that larger view for a larger conversation. It's not just sex. It's power. It's money. It's privilege. It's access.
Absolutely.
It's what is the standard of living that we will allow for certain people, but not for others, so that they feel they have to put themselves in the situation where they might agree to get shot up, where they could die. It's, I mean, again, it's just a much, much larger conversation, in my opinion, about all of it, about sex, sexuality, identity, again, privilege, power, access, money.
I think there was a good segment on, I don't know if you listened to it, but it's a podcast called Still Processing. It's
I haven't in a long time, no.
Yeah, well, it comes at New York Times. It's a good podcast. New York Times, it's a queer woman and man, and they Leslie, and I can't remember the guy's name, but they talk about culture and that kind of stuff. And they were talking about sex in America and how, essentially up until, that it's, y'all know sex is fucked up in America. Y'all understand that. I mean, like, y'all understand that most black people are multi-shades because people were raped during slavery. And, you understand there's Puritanism in America, and then there's all this hedonism. And as it's represented in our film culture, they were talking about how, like, the late 90s and the 2000s were a reaction to Porky's and, sort of this sexual licentious.
What is Porky's?
Porky's was a film from the 80s. Seminal film that was sort of a hyper toxic masculinity film.
Just the 80s. Got it.
Yeah. The Porky's was like
there were so many. I must have missed that one.
It was the first frat. It was like the first frat film.
Oh, I thought Animal House was the first.
Maybe Porky's was right after. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, honestly. But it was like that. It was like if it was like the year or the year after, but either one. And it was just talking about how, like, the evolution of how we've dealt with sex up to that point, and how, like, nowadays, and how in the early 2000s, essentially what you had was like American Pie, but it was like a series of morality tales about how everything to do with sex had this consequence. So as a reaction. And anyways, they were talking about, like, when will we develop this language of, like, a healthy sexual relationship? Because all the depictions, like, from the 80s to the 90s, like, starting with the 80s with the erotic thriller and, like, Glenn Close and Boiling Bunnies and shit, like, all these depictions of sexuality are fucked up and weird, like acrimony.
Honestly,
and all this shit.
I don't think in my lifetime.
Never. I've never seen it. I don't even know what it.
I don't think a healthy representation of sex will be prevalent in our society in my lifetime.
And we're not talking about love. 30, and to be clear, we're not talking about love. We're talking about
I'm talking about sex.
Sex.
And
doing
I'm
it.
38 years old, so I'm halfway through my life, and I don't think before I die that will be the prevalent ideas and theories and depictions in our society at large.
No, agreed. Unfortunately,
it's not going to happen.
I think there's something to do with this with the puritanical roots of our country.
Maybe, but I feel like we're quite removed from that. It's morphed into something else.
Maybe, yeah.
With the internet and internet porn, like we recently discovered our son had maybe accidentally or purposefully seen some porn.
And weird porn.
It was
not
weird.
Even like,
Thank
not
you.
even like
Thank
straight
you.
ahead.
I would have been so relieved if we just found a fucking Playboy under his mattress.
What happened to the classy days?
Oh my God!
Of a
Could it
Playboy
just be a naked
with
lady?
Elegantly groomed bush.
Could it just be a naked lady? And I suspect when we confronted him about it, I came up on
Playboys
on Real Sex on HBO. And side note,
me too. Yeah, me too.
Side note,
real talk.
Side note, I honestly want to give a shout out thank you to Real Sex because it presented it as something fetish was fetish.
Yeah.
But there was fetish, and I was like, oh, people do what now? But it was shown with such enthusiasm, with such information.
Yes.
I learned
and respect
from Real Sex.
And respect for the
and consent.
Yes.
The people who chose to do that were doing it because that's what they liked. They found willing, consensual partners, and they got it on.
Yes.
So I learned relatively early that you could have what some might consider weird sex, but that it was healthy. These people seemed very healthy, normal, happy people.
Yes.
And it was a lot of things that no one had ever talked to me about in my real life. So
1000%.
that immediately at like maybe 14 made me realize that there was a very large gap between what we talked about as sex being and what it really was. But what we don't talk about, and this is what our poor little 10-year-old discovered, is that there's another part of sex that we don't talk about that is not really emblematic of consensual, respectful, pleasurable, willing partners. And that was what really hurt me. And I didn't know how to keep him from it. And with the internet, it's very hard to. You can type in very innocuous words, but
it started with something very simple.
It really did start with something
like White Girls or something. The movie,
which is hilarious. I own it. Shout out to the Wayans.
Yes.
But then it went really dark.
Left. And this is actually, that's full circle call back to why we had to put the parental lockdown.
For real talk, yo, real. This might be the realest thing we have ever said on the show.
Wow, lockdown on the no, you can't. No. After 7 o'clock, there's no more.
I still feel slightly guilty that we didn't have it on already.
It didn't even occur.
But you know what? I read. But remember when you talked about the anime shit and you were like, "Don't look at anything weird." That was your instinct.
I knew it, and I just didn't.
That was like a year ago.
I know.
It's hard. Parenting is not easy,
it's
y'all.
at Langston. Our son is so sweet, and
he's nerdy. He just makes weird noises, you
would not see it coming out. But you know what?
He's pre-pubescent.
But you know what? He's like the character. He's the main character from you know what I'm talking about?
No,
from the animated show we love. The
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. He's the, you know what I'm saying? He's like the little guy with no pubes. You know?
Nick. But this is the thing. He's in class with kids that are Andrew.
His best friend is like the nigga is here every day.
He's kind of a little bit of an Andrew.
Hey,
there's a Jesse in the class.
Yes. So look, this is the thing I was tripping
every
on.
day.
This is the thing I was tripping on when he came home to asking me about this realm shit with Minecraft. He let it slip. He was like, I can't wait to go to school tomorrow and find out what what's the girl's name? Beatrix's name is.
She's the queen of some world they built together.
So she can come into my world and she can be in my world. And I was like,
she's the queen of some world.
Those are R&B lyrics.
Oh my god. Yo, they built a world and she's the queen, and
oh my god,
the homie was like, so what, are you like the king? He was like, no, there's no king. And he was like, what? The
My
homie
son
was
is-
like, what? And then Langston said, oh, I'm the general.
My son is so ready for the new world order. He is so ready. He is so ready. But I'm not gonna front. I don't care if my son's. I literally don't care if he's gay, straight, binary, non-binary, whatever. But when he said that, I couldn't help but be like, and then he was like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "So you want to get Beatrix's username, huh?" He said, "Well, I want everyone to come." I was like, "But you said her name first." I couldn't help it.
No. I think Beatrix is the new Ella.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Beatrix, look, she's super tall. Like, to see them together, I was like, it's almost perfect because he's so small and she's so like, she's tall for tall's sake. Like, it makes no sense.
You know what though? I was picking him up the other day and I saw several like pairs or groups of kids walking. There's a lot of kids that are Langston's height in his grade, in his class.
No. I know. I'm not worried about that anymore.
Oh.
The thing is, it's funny is that he's especially sort of diminutive, and she's especially kind of tall, and that somehow that balances, for some reason that makes them match, because she must feel, she must feel gawky and like, weird.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. But like, she's super tall, he's super short, and I think it's adorable. I think it's just adorable.
I think right now they have a really great friendship, and I'm excited about that.
Yes.
I'm glad that he has a healthy relationship with a girl who he's not related to.
Yes.
And
it's so platonic. He literally wants her just to come play a game.
It was the same with Lily.
I think it's just so.
Lily came over.
God,
we
it's
had
so
a girl
beautiful.
over, and they just hung out and played games.
I just love it so much.
So I really
much.
love him, obviously, but I really like him. Like I like
him.
the personality that is emerging.
He's a gentleman.
And his interests,
Yes.
and he's so open to all the right things.
Yes, agreed.
And so I'm really grateful
And
for
you
that.
just-
High five to you. We're kind of killing it right there.
And it's just that was just 5 minutes of us talking about.
Yeah,
our
sorry.
kids.
Side note. It went. I know. Talk about go left.
That's okay, but that's all right. It's called Woke with Kids, guys.
Sorry, guys. We have a 10-year-old, y'all.
He
That's
said-
crazy.
So I'm like, and I'm sorry. Just one more thing.
Oh.
Because it's like the 10-year-old thing is like, it's so much more. Every time I see him, I just want to just hold him.
At
And
his
squeeze.
birth, when he
He's
turned
so
10,
old
and
now.
for a month or two before, I was like, oh my God, you're turning 10. I was freaking out when it was happening.
He's
and
just,
now it's just here.
and
Okay.
now, okay. So it was enough of that.
We got some yes, y'all.
so many yes, y'all.
I know, not as much catching hell.
I know it's been
as
it's
usual.
been okay. I see some. Well, let me see what we got here. You sent me a lot of good stuff. We talked about the Covington. That's good. That's bad news.
I didn't know
Cardi
about
B. Did we talk about Cardi B and her awesomeness? And her awesomeness.
Oh my God. Okay, you got to play this.
I gotta play. Hold on.
Okay, you can wait. Okay, play a little bit, and then I got something better because some genius remixed it.
Oh right, I do remember that.
You saw that?
You want me? I just get that. Let me just get that.
Get it?
All right.
It's so good.
All right.
It's so freaking good.
Remix of Shutdown. Boom, the Shutdown. Yes.
I've watched this quite a few times.
Yeah. Hold on. No.
People that gotta go to fucking
Wait, just
work.
please.
Hold on. I've not played. They're not seeing it yet. Hold on. You gotta be still. Be still. Be
I
still.
hope this is it.
This is it. I think it's it, and they're gonna show. I think they got it set up perfectly because they're gonna show a little bit of it, and then they. Okay, so there he is. Let's transition so you can see what we see. You see it. Here we go, guys.
We feel bad for these people that gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. We really need to take this serious. I feel like we need to take some action. You bitches can go check your pussy in the gynecologist with no motherfucking problem. Yeah, bitch.
Oh, you don't hear it. Oh no, they don't.
Yeah,
hear it
this
now.
is.
Motherfucking healthcare. Yeah, bitch. People gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. Nah, bitch. It's been a little over 3 weeks. Nah, bitch. I know a lot of y'all don't care. Nah, bitch. Bitches can go check your pussy in the gynecologist with no motherfucking problem. Yeah, bitch. Grandma can check her blood pressure. Yeah, bitch. Motherfucking healthcare. Yeah, bitch. People gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. Nah, bitch. It's been a little over 3 weeks. Nah, bitch. I know a lot of y'all don't care. Nah, bitch. Eleanor Roosevelt. That's my bitch. Franklin Jacqueline Rose.
Oh, I didn't even see this part. This is different.
It's just a Bronx thing. I said something.
Oh, I have not seen this.
Goddamn money was appreciated. Very broke, you know what I'm saying? She need to stop.
Oh, they really went out.
I just feel like they throwing me shots. Cardi, they call people Cardi. Ex-president under the keep it real party.
That part was, play this. Just this.
Okay, hold on.
You had to use the Michelle Obama meme.
Slack it to me. I meant Slack. I mean, message it to me. Slack it. I don't know. I'm at work now.
I know. We try to use Slack at the Mavericks, but I never. It's not on my phone. Yeah, that's good too. But this was over just Bodak Yellow.
Okay. Do you message it to me?
Yes.
All right. There it is. Boom. I see.
What I love too. She looks fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, she is that.
Her makeup is so beautiful. She's. I love her, Cardi. I'm feeling the whole look. It was a mini performance, and then they just I love my favorite. So at the Women's March on the second anniversary of this administration's inauguration, so many people had signs with some of her statement I'm really fucking scared, bro.
Let's give it to you. Here you go.
Okay, please.
Go check out pussy in the gynecologist with no motherfucking problem. Yeah, bitch. Grandma can check her blood pressure. Yeah, bitch. Motherfucking healthcare. Yeah, bitch. People gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. Now, bitch. It's been a little over 3 weeks. Now, bitch. I know a lot of y'all don't care. Now, bitch. Bitches go check out pussy in the gynecologist with no motherfucking problem.
Yeah, bitch.
Grandma can check her blood pressure. Yeah, bitch. Motherfucking healthcare. Yeah, bitch. People gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. Now, bitch. It's been a little over 3 weeks. Now, bitch. I know a lot of y'all don't care. Now, bitch.
I mean, does everybody know how to edit now or what?
Everyone.
Everyone
has got the skill. This has changed everything, man. That's good. That's fucking amazing. I love that.
So good.
That is so good.
So good.
Everyone can express themselves
Quality
so clearly
piece
now.
of entertainment right there. And it's not just entertainment. She's speaking the truth.
Oh man, that's good. That is good. That is good.
That made me happy last week, and it was it continues to do so.
This is good.
And now the shutdown's over, and this is why she's making the money she is. This is why she's
got a
all
residency
over
in
the
Vegas.
Screens. She deserves it. We want to see it. She's with the zeitgeist.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes. She's in Vegas now. Can you believe
Good
it?
for
Everyone's
her.
going to Vegas. Everyone's going to Vegas
That's
and
how
get
you
that
make.
money.
You know what? She got a kid now.
Word. And she can stay.
The baby, they moving to Vegas.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense.
She can be with her baby
Go
all
to
day.
Vegas, sit still.
You know
do
who
your shows
really
during
put me on to
That's
that?
So smart.
You know when I figured that out? When Britney did it. Yo, Britney got had older kids at the time.
Say, smart.
I was like,
smart.
I get it now.
Very smart. Very
You got
smart.
a 7 and a 3-year-old. You need stability, bitch.
Call it a day. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
she
a
come
good one.
home. She go in at a certain time. She come home at a certain
That's
time.
a day. Clock in, clock out.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congrats, mommy. Congrats.
Did you see this though?
House of Cardi B. Oh my God, so foolish.
Look at the thing. It said, this shit is. Oh, that's what this thing was. It said, "This shit is really fucking serious, bro." She said, "We really need to do something about it." She's like, "I don't know what, because that's not what I do." But it.
From the mouth of babes. I love it.
What? Somebody won almost $300 million.
Yeah, Brooklyn trucker. Let me show you this dude.
Oh, wait. That's how the article begins.
If this your family, hit him up. If that's your family, let them know. Brooklyn truck driver is winner of the 298.3 milli New York Powerball winner. The Brooklyn dad stored the ticket in a ratty jacket for a week before coming forward. My dude. Oh my God. I don't play the lottery, but I am thrilled. I am so happy for this brother. You can see the smile on his face. Do you see that? You see that? Do you see how many problems to solve? Do you see how much generational wealth was just manifested right there? Praise God. Praise God. What do you? I've never seen a black man win the lottery.
He said he's not going to work no more. I just read it. No, that's crazy. I'm so happy for him. He was out sick, went to put gas in the truck, got a ticket. The friend called him and was like, yo, somebody won from the place where you bought your ticket. He was like, that's not me, man. That's not my luck. And he didn't check. He didn't even check. He stopped at the gas station on a Friday the next week and he scanned his ticket. And he started jumping up and down in the store. He said, I got back in my car, turned my music up, and zoomed on home. He didn't go to work that day, and he doesn't intend to go back. I'm rich. I don't gotta go to work no more.
Hey, look, I don't care what the fuck happens to this man's money. Praise God. Any
I hope, please be smart with it, dude. Pay off your debt. Don't do nothing crazy.
Reach out to him.
Pay off your debt.
Black money managers. Black
put money
asset
in
finance.
savings.
Reach out to this man.
Help him invest.
Yes.
Set up wealth for his family.
Y'all do the right thing.
Something that will continue.
That's
enough.
Jay-Z need to reach out. Nas need to reach out.
I wasn't even going to say his name, but now I got to. David Johnson of East New York.
Yes.
Now, please pray for the brother. I mean, we don't get that many opportunities.
No, this is big, man. This is big, man.
Especially if you're not going to go to work no more.
Yeah. I hope. I look, and he looked like he got a woman. He looks like he got a.
He's said his family.
Yeah, man. He looked like he go. I think I'm gonna pray for him, man. Because a lot of times, statistically, this shit don't work out right.
Oh, only 100 million. Someone can blow through that. Yeah. It'll take a couple of years, but he could blow through it.
But listen,
he could blow through it.
Don't put nothing past nobody.
Couple cars.
Anyway,
what else we got? That one right there with the young brother lifting up his brother's head after the fucked up shot or losing the ball. Please, the
basketball.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
This also made my week when I saw this because it really speaks to the idea that we have to teach our young men and women, but especially our young black boys, to look out for each other and keep each other encouraged.
Okay, let's check this out. I love this kind of stuff.
They don't have numbers. That's the wrong guy to pass it to in that situation.
Wrong guy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of the story of this. Great job by Jalen.
Oh, wow.
Just push his head back up.
Wow. Wow, that's what's up. That's what's up. Look, we talk a lot of shit about sportsmanship, being a good sport, about building self-esteem. If we really about it, that's the example.
Their coach is good. Their parents raised them right. That's solid right there. Yeah. So please, I was very heartened as opposed to being disheartened as we usually are right now. I was very heartened by that.
That's what's up.
And it reminded me to how important that is to instill in our children.
It's a game. It's just a game.
Sometimes you miss. Sometimes you fuck up.
Yeah. That's what's up. I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What else?
We need to talk about Laquan.
You want to talk about? Is that good news or bad news?
Some of them were found not guilty, but I guess it's catching hell. But one of them was. I felt like the main one was. That's not in that article though. But I did read that the main was somebody was indicted.
Okay, I think. That's
but many of them got off. That was definitely catching hell. I misread that.
Yeah,
I just started thinking of the other one.
That's all I need to hear.
What else did I send you?
Big Boy is buying.
That's nice. That made me happy.
Nice. That's very nice.
Big Boy's buying the actual dungeon. So Dungeon Family. If you listen to Outkast, Goody Mob.
That's lovely.
Who else? Organized Noise.
Future. If you in the fucking Future's a Dungeon Family.
So,
yeah,
especially back in the 90s when they started out, this was a basement of a house in Atlanta that they recorded in, and they always referred to it in all the music, and now he bought it.
Word up. That's wonderful. I love that.
And side note, I don't know if it was on Netflix or what, but there's a documentary about Organized Noise. The producers, it's so fucking
I love it.
good.
I've seen it 2 times.
Oh my God. What's it called? Do you remember what it's called?
I think it's The Art of Organized Noise.
Something like that. Please look it up, y'all. You will be so happy. It's really good.
What else is there? I don't want to bum you out.
Oh no, Gugu's being stalked.
Who?
Gugu and Bata Ross being stalked.
I don't know who. Oh,
TMZ.
yeah. Well, always because she's famous.
A woman.
I don't know. I think I'm done. We might be done. I don't know. We spent an hour and 30 minutes of talking at y'all.
Oh my God! Already? Shit.
It has been.
Sorry, guys.
It has been.
Sorry, guys.
You want to talk about the Radio 1 rap?
No.
Host who won't tolerate misogynistic lyrics? That's dope.
No.
She's on BBC One Radio.
Don't want to talk about anything else.
Tiffany Calvert.
Except for the fact that Amanda Seales has her HBO special coming out
I can't wait
tomorrow.
To see that.
I'm very excited. Called I Be Knowing.
Hold on. Ain't she the one? Wait.
If you are on her Instagram, you have seen her stories.
But ain't she support R. Kelly too?
No.
I don't know. I heard something about her name. I can make sure. We got to make sure, because we hold ourselves accountable on our side. Okay, never mind. She's on the right side. Okay.
I'm like, no.
I heard her name I just heard her name in association.
If you watch the stories and read the posts,
Amanda Seales is all the way good. She slammed R. Kelly and Erykah Badu. She is all the way good.
I love her too because she's Caribbean.
Amen to that.
And she had a great little segment on Good Morning America promoting it. I see her. She's doing her thing.
Hey, all right. I ain't mad at that. Okay, then.
It's her time.
All right, so let's see if there's any shout-outs. Because we do kind of, y'all be looking out. Y'all be doing nice. Y'all be listening
and sharing. Thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart.
It's true. Oh, God, I got to tell you, we got a Patreon, y'all. We got a Patreon. That means you can give us money.
Now that your checks are coming in again, just kidding.
Now the IRS is back at getting paid again. Yeah, you can give us you can Patreon us. I'm gonna put it in the link to the show if you want to check it out.
I want to work on that bio.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, maybe the Patreon will be out a little bit later. Actually, I didn't set it live because I was waiting for you to respond to that.
Sorry. It's been a stressful week.
The Patreon will be it has been a week. We'll talk about it in months to come. Anyway, here we go. Let's see who was looking out. Lucky number 7, Crystal Clear.
I hope you're doing well. You said don't even say it.
Yes, I know.
Hope you're doing well, sis. The Podcast Brothers. Hey,
what's up, Al? We always love you. That's my brother from We Come From Bad News, other podcasts. Check that one out. Soon to be on Spotify. Nika.
I love her. What's that called? Is that the Avatar still?
That's the Avatar. That's what you call it. Yeah,
I love
it. I know.
It's flossy.
Plush, flossy woman. And the John Effect podcast.
Thank you.
2 Squares podcast, who's always looking out. Tactless Know-It-Alls podcast, who was actually on We Come From Bad News, so I can legitimately say they will probably be on a podcast with us at some point or another.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
They're in Atlanta too, so we'll go visit them when we go back east in April. So when we out there, we can say what's up to them. Maybe we'll do some podcasting out there while we out there. But yeah, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Mel, where can they come at y'all? Come and talk.
Find me on the gram at Melissa K, spelled out Kay Anderson, or I'm trying to use my Twitter a little bit more.
Okay.
That is at Melissa K Says.
Good one.
Obviously, all the Woke with Kids are on. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Very active on Instagram these days.
And
check us out
on all the podcast places.
Spotify, your Android. We're literally everywhere now. Just
crazy.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging with us all this time.
Yeah, man. It's gratifying. It's nice.
I appreciate you guys as our community.
Yeah. And I'm in Nyaze. You can hit me at NYAZE. Just Google that. I'm everywhere. Love you guys. Peace. Bye.
Stay woke.